look at this picture. What do you think is today's topic? Can you guys guess?
Nature.
Turtle is more closer. Yes, today's topic is animals, and it's also related to humans. Are humans animals? This seems like a silly question, but to make sure you guys know it, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, what I'm talking about, right? We are animals, or who are we, right? And just what I said, this wasn't a silly question. I want to know is, do humans have the animal bodies and also the animal minds? First of all, I will talk about humans, and second is about animals. And the last one, I will compare the animal minds and the human minds. First of all, it's about humans. Human is a species that can communicate with each other with language. And we can connect the words together to be a sentence, and with grammar inside. This is the abilities that other animals couldn't do. And we also got morality in our minds. That means we can control our thoughts by thinking it is right or wrong. Human, also known as Homo sapiens. Homo is the noun, and sapien is the adjective to describe we are smart human. Biologically, we belong to mammals. That means our brains developed neocortex in our brain, and we got memory glands in our body. The closest relative among the apes are chimpanzees and gorilla. However, these two species doesn't called Homo. They called another word that I don't know how to read. Because there's Latin words. And the Homo means this shows how unique and special we are. We are the only species that's called Homo sapiens. And the next one is about animals. First of all, animals can move and ingest food. And there are 3 other features that animals must have. First of all, multicellularity. Multicellularity means in our cells, we got multi-cells in our body. And a human being is composed of trillions of cells. However, this feature doesn't only shared by humans, it's also shared by fungi and algae and other plants. That means if you find an organisms, if it got a multicellular, it got a multi-cells inside its body, that doesn't mean that it's animals. Okay, and another feature is eukaryotic cell structure. On the other hand, prokaryotic structure means it doesn't have membrane-bounded nucleus and organelles. And on the other hand, that means animals are eukaryotic cells, and inside the cells, the nucleus and organelles are separated in the cells, and every function and every organelles can work its own work efficiently without the chemical reaction that is blocked by other organelles. And the third one is sexual reproduction. This is the most important part in every animal. From an evolutionary perspective, this is the benefits that animals have. From the descendants and the parents, they don't have the same DNA and the same things and the same feelings. Someone feel cold now and someone feel hot now. That means the difference with the feelings and the adaptation to the environment. The last one is animal minds and the human minds. To know the mind, we have to go into the brain. In our brain, this is the largest part of the brain. It's called cerebral cortex. that is the place which I just mentioned, that is neocortex. And this is responsible for cognitive ability and some function about logic. We can think, calculate, and remember things in this part. However, humans didn't have the largest brain weight in a proportion to the body weight. That's because we don't have we don't have the heaviest weight, but also we don't have the largest proportion of the brain in our body. And if you see, the picture shows the shark have a very small brain. That's so cool. If you see the deep blue color ones, that part with this part, the proportion of the shark is so poor. Yeah. If you see the sharks, you can know how smart you are. So don't blame you are silly. Okay? This part, you can create many things from this part. And another thing inside the cortex is the neuron systems. Inside the neuron system, there's a thing called glial cells. These cells are these things. They are called glial cells. They are said to be responsible for and are related to your intelligence. So Albert Einstein have the more glial cells ratio in his brain. But with this, if this experiment is true, and we won't be the most smart species in the world, because monkey will got 5.5 greater than human of the glial cells. And people can think, and no other animals could speak, could thinking, could remembering, to calculating. No other animals could develop cars, rockets, and other big things. No other animals could have art, literature, language, and music. And even no other animals can communicate with each other from their own language. This is how unique we are. And the scientists started to think and to want to understand why this is happening. We don't have the obvious difference from the brain structure. We don't have the most heaviest brain in the world. We don't have the most super brain function that's different from other animals. And scientists attribute these reasons to an immortal soul inside our mind. This soul works efficiently and that doesn't exist or only exists a little bit in other animals. First of all, due to this source, we got the awareness of death. We know one day we will die, and we have to do something in this short-term time of the life. We have to do something meaningful. This is why other animals couldn't contemplate this. And this is why we have to live, and we have to live it meaningfully. And from today's topic, I learned from many things. We are animals. Yes, of course I know this. We are animals, of course. And this is not a silly question. This is a serious question that we have the same body with animals, but we don't have the same mind shared with the animals. And this is all from me. Thank you.